Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Athlete. This is episode number 17. Got a microphone on today, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully the sound's a little bit better for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about joint laxity or high joint laxity and training. So this means people that are hypermobile are very, very flexible, okay, and probably do things that a lot of people can't. These type of people, or people with high joint laxity, need to be treated differently to people who have mobility restrictions, okay? So people with mobility restrictions have tight joints and joints that are not going through full range of motion. People with joint laxity, high joint laxity, their joints are going through abnormal ranges of motion, okay? So we're not trying to increase their range of motion, we actually need to decrease it. So joint laxity is not a good thing. What it means is that the joint's unstable. So rather than being the joints being working together efficiently and then nice and steadily, there's a lot of movement around in there because the ligaments are a lot longer or a lot looser than what they should be. So for things like squatting, running, any type of movement, any type of sport, their level of movement is actually going to be a lot less stable, which means they're not going to be as powerful, and they're also going to be more likely for injuries as well because there's no stability there at all. So a couple of things that they can work on is, one, I would stay away from stretching. We don't want to make those muscles and ligaments any longer or any looser. Mobility work you can with, so if you want to do some foam rolling, that's cool. What we need to do to fix the underlying issue is teach you how to create stability with your body. So what we're going to go through today is creating torque, what we call creating torque using the hip. So the hip is a ball and socket joint, similar to the shoulder. The way this works is we have our femur, which is the main bone which runs up and down our leg, into our hip. Okay, so they sit in like that, so ball and socket. Now, for someone with a high joint laxity, the ligaments that are holding our femur onto our hip are actually looser, so this comes out a lot more. Okay, so anytime there's any movement, running, squatting, doing whatever, there's a higher chance that this is actually going to, one, slide out, but two, it's going to be popping around all over the place. It's not going to be firmly planted in there. Now, the only way to create that tension and get this femur into the hip nice and tight so that we're providing as much stability as possible, especially if those ligaments surrounding the joint are loose, is to actually twist. So think of this as our hip, and there's all ligaments connecting our hip up to our femur, okay? Now, if we get those ligaments, they're straight, so they're loose at the moment, what happens when we apply a twisting motion, that actually gets sucked in, so the femur gets sucked into the hip and pulled in nice and tight, okay? So rather than there being this gap there and freedom, we're tightening it up and pulling it in nice and tight. So how do we use that when we're training? For example, for a squat, what we can do is we can actually twist out with our legs. So instead of having our knees just going backwards and forwards, or just trying to push them out sideways, what we can do is actually twist. So we have our feet nice and straight, and we're twisting. So feet stay in the same position, all we're doing is twisting with our legs out. So that means the whole time we go down, we twist out. The whole time we come up, we twist out as well. And what you will notice is that this, one, helps to create stability through the hip. Two, will also help to get your glutes working a lot better, and you'll be a lot more stable at the bottom of the squat. Rather than dropping to the bottom of the squat and everything just collapsing in, you'll find that you'll be a lot more stable, you'll be able to create tension, create a lot more power, and rather than just bouncing up and down on your joints, actually be able to use the surrounding musculature to help you move up and down. So that's one thing that you can start with, which is going to greatly help with your training. It's just going to be practice, practice, practice. So stay away from stretching, practice more movement, motor control, making sure that everything's tight, creating torque, and see how you go from there. So have a great day.